having a coffee in Burlington this morning with a special guest.
Yeah, she's at Coffee Culture on Brand Street. Good morning, Lori.
We're going to continue right here at Coffee Culture. Yes, we are having a coffee. And we have here a special guest. We have Hassan Jaffer. He is not only an astrologer, but an engineer. He has many, many hats. And you have also read charts for many famous celebrities as well. You're with Larry King. This morning you're with Laura DeAngelis. Just kidding. Let's talk about world events. You're saying that right now, and the Pope is an example of the theme that's going on right now.
Right.
Tell us about the world events.
There are two completely different things happening, Laurie. And first of all, hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. And it's so nice to see you also because you're high energy and you're so interested in astrology.
Yes.
That must make a difference.
Yes. But the energy right now in the world events.
There are two completely different types. One is very dark, almost demonic type, is Saturn being the sign of Scorpio. And then you've got an extremely spiritual, the type that we have never ever had in our lifetime, and won't have for 165 years. You have so many planets in the sign of Pisces, like a deep realization of truth, a deep spirituality. Then you've got this Saturn in Scorpio. The good thing is they're all beautifully trying to each other. There's a good aspect between them. So, for example, for research in medicine, or to find the cures for cancer is fantastic.
So now's a really good time.
Very, very positive aspect, that's right, yes. Especially these 2-3 years. Because you've got the creativity on one side and music and all these talents, but Saturn indicates the discipline, the ability to finish it. So, for example, 10th and 11th of March was probably the holiest and the most sacred day for the entire century.
And that was when the Pope...
Yeah, and there were 5 planets or 6 planets in Pisces. And the Pope was being elected at that time. I think it was 12th or 13th was actually elected, which is actually good because Pisces sort of a deep, soft energy. Then it went to Aries, like a brand new beginning. So they went to action. It's like a pioneer and the poet. But when he was being elected, that prayer must have been a very special prayer.
And you're talking about new energy. What was really fascinating with this Pope, too, is that he is from a different part of the world than usual. Usually it's a European Pope. This time we're going Latin America.
And his chart is so reflective of what's happening in the world. Like that Saturn trining all these planets in Pisces, it has a Capricorn energy.
And what does that mean?
He's a Sagittarius.
Yes.
But his Mercury in the sign of Capricorn. So he's a very practical, very down-to-earth person. Pope Benedict was very spiritual, but more emotional, very scholarly. He also had a Mercury-Jupiter conjunction. This Pope also has a Mercury-Jupiter conjunction, except he had it in Pisces, he was in Aries, but Pope Francis has it in Capricorn.
So what does it mean in terms of, will he be...
First of all, he belongs to an age of suffering, like Neptune's Virgo. You know, right after Age of the Golden Movies, the market crashed and all the war, everything. So there was a lot of sadness at that time. So there's no generation more sacrificing than the 30s age group, and he belongs to that age group.
So he's going to express that kind of...
Yeah, for the poor people, for the needy, he takes the bus, he walks, for example, and they love the countryside. So all that part, there's no pretentious aspect about them.
So this theme will really come out in his leadership, in his role as Pope.
Exactly opposite the Age of the Golden Movies and all the pomp. So he's close to nature, the true shepherd, you might say. That's exactly his age group. So he represents that.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here at Coffee Culture, and we have here Hassan Jaffer, and he is an astrologer. Now, he says for the month of April, May, if you're an Aries, Gemini, Leo, or Libra, it's really good. Sagittarius and Aquarius. Yes. It's really good for you.
It's fantastic. It's been going from last October, but especially April and May till about June.
What's going on? Why is that a good period? What should they do?
Because Jupiter is touching off all these planets, which are called the fire and air signs. So any opportunity from foreign countries, foreign lands, will become more action-oriented, or their contracts suddenly start working, for example. So they're more optimistic and enthusiastic, and they take on more challenges. So they all become a bit like a Sagittarius.
Okay, so they're more adventurous during this time.
Much more.
So if they're thinking about tackling something, do it during those months.
This is the time to become like a successful gambler. You take chances.
Ah.
But I'd be careful of stock market. You know, how long they pace themselves, you know. It's amazing, you know, you give advice, suddenly people take just half the advice, suddenly they put $100,000 in the market and say, oh my God, you told us. You've got to be careful with that.
Many times when we hear about astrology, we hear words like elements, fixed, mutable. What do these things
Well,
mean?
everything starts, originally there were 4 elements: fire, earth, air, and water.
Fire, earth, air, water.
And to understand astrology, that it makes it very easy. All the signs are like that: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Again, fire, earth, air, water. Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, same aspect. And so it makes it much easier. So all the fire signs have certain things in common, like Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius.
Yes.
They're all enthusiastic. They need a challenge. As soon as the challenge is over, they start getting bored.
Got it.
So children, for example, now everybody's like fire signs when they're young. And all the children, for example, they need sports, that's why they need the gym. But people who are visionaries, people who are motivators, the dynamic, the natural motivators, they have to have some fire signs.
What about air signs?
The air signs are much more communication, the sense of humor, the objectivity.
So we're talking about Aquarius, Gemini,
and Libra.
Libra.
That's right. And they like to get things, they all are very objective, and they like to stand back and look at the problem from a totally objective viewpoint. Right? Rather than the fire signs, like they jump into action. They're much more action-oriented. These are more thinkers.
We spoke about fire and air signs. Now we're going to talk about earth and water signs. And when we talk about earth, we talk about Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. When we talk about water, we talk about Cancer, Pisces,
and Scorpio.
And Scorpio. How can I forget that one?
So the earth signs, they all like the long-term security. They like the productive aspect of it. Rather than just adventure, they like the 9-to-5 routine aspect. Even if they have their own business, but they're there for years and years. Whether it's in relationships or anything, for example. So that's the aspect. They can get a bit boring. They need more fun. It's a bit dry aspect because they can become just work.
Because they're workaholics.
Well, that's a Capricorn theme. But all the earth signs, they are responsible. They like to finish what they start. They like to be productive. Right? But the routine aspect.
Water?
The water is much more of the empathy and compassion and feeling. See, the whole world right now. So the water signs would be really feeling it even more now because so many planets in Pisces right now and the Saturn in Scorpio. So we have the water, there's Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, the empathy, compassion, feelings.
So are they extra sensitive this month?
Yeah, they're very, very much, yes. Throughout this year, actually, for these, all the water signs are going to be like that. Even the children being born right now, extremely spiritual children. But so the water signs, they all seem to, they become moody and playing games. It's like Venus and Scorpio, for example, don't touch me, and every cell of their body needs to be hugged.
So they're going to need a lot of affection, a lot of reassurance.
Right.
But then let's talk about someone like Jennifer Lawrence. She is a Leo.
No, she's a Leo, but she has Virgo planets. So the Virgo
so what does
is
that
perfection.
mean?
She's a very down-to-earth person. The horses and all that, but she's it's like a farm girl on one side, the way she talks and all that. Totally.
So you mean down to earth? That's what you mean by
very
farm?
Very down to earth, but very charismatic. She has Venus and Leo, like Tom Cruise and Sylvester Stallone and Nicole Kidman.
So what does that mean, Venus and Leo?
It's a dramatic, it's a theatrical part. Like the gown that she was wearing was the right one, even though she tripped on it because Momenton appeared at that time. But it was all that Yves Saint Laurent and Givenchy and all that. Like Nicole Kidman also is very good at that. So she'll be doing a lot of that probably. So she has that charisma, most definitely, but she has the acting ability of that Virgo perfection.
So what you're saying is that though you're born a certain sign, you have different planets around you, and those different planets.
The combination, like fire and earth, that's what she has. It's a very tough combination, like real steamrollers. The fire needs constant new challenges. The earth has the ability to sustain it, the stamina, the endurance.
We're going to continue this right here at Coffee Culture with Hassan Jaffer. We'll be right back. Are you a cautious person? Are you a risk taker? Well, those answers could be at the palm of your hands. We're talking about palmistry next. We have not only Hassan Jaffer, but we also have his son Reza, who is joining us. Reza, you're going to take us through this. So what we want everyone to do right now is to look at their palms. And what should they be looking for?
Well, you really want to see your two lines over here. One is your brain line, one is your lifeline. You really want to see if they are joined or separate. You can see, like mine are very separate over here.
Okay, so your hand is an example of headline. So what does this mean? For a person who has, if they're looking at their palm right now and they see that the two lines are separate, what does it mean?
Somebody who's very impatient, impulsive, drives fast, wants to invest in the stock market rather than real estate, which is safe. They're the risk takers.
So if those same lines were joined, what does that mean?
Well, that's more dependable. they would go for the real estate, something long term, more patient. They're more the students. They're the better students.
Yeah. As opposed to a speeding ticket, they won't even get a parking ticket.
They won't. They're that good. They're a good student.
Mm-hmm. They're the good student.
But
No, not good student. They'll do their homework.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant student. He was all in the 90s and 80s. But he just waits till the last minute. And that's the part that I want to see his age group. I want to address that. How did he find that? How did he get to the whole university and all that? How was he able to do that? He's a double major. It's like, how was he able to do all the finance and everything? How was he able to do it?
Yeah.
So when you have this, when you notice that I have headline separate or headline join, what do you do? What do you do with that information? How does it help?
Yeah, you definitely try to take this into account with everything. So when you take into account studies, let's say, for me, I have to start early because I know that I will push things to the right last minute. But that's when I get my best work done. At the same time, when I'm listening to teachers, I also tell them, if they're high energy teachers, that's always the best thing for me. That picks it up.
We also have some stars out there who are both headline separate and joined. So someone like
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie,
All adventure sports, like all her movies, she's driving fast and all the action-oriented type.
So
Denzel Washington, Breaking Rules,
separate.
Tom Cruise, same thing. Oprah.
So these type of people, their profession or their calling is to be a leader?
That's right. Like Raza, for example, he's got a black belt in Taekwondo. He jumped twice from the plane. My daughter has the same thing, brain line separate.
You jump from a plane?
Yeah,
Right.
I'm a skydiver.
Yeah. I'm glad you're not my son. I would cry. Continue right here at Coffee Culture, and we have here a special guest who's joining us right here at this cafe, located on Brand Street. That's Reza, his son, and we have here Hassan Jaffer. And Hassan, what you have right over here actually is Annette's chart.
Yes.
And Annette, she is a Leo, but what we want to explain to everyone that
How to offset the different themes and all that, yeah.
Right.
Anchor, I guess, right? Yeah.
yes, she's an anchor.
I see, basically, she's a Leo, and with Mercury in the sign of Leo. So that's a positive, the leadership aspect, the administrative aspect, intelligent leadership like Bill Clinton and Obama. They delegate work very well. But she has 6 planets in water signs.
So what does that mean?
Water is the empathy, the compassion, and for people who are downtrodden and all that. And then she has an aspect of, it's like a manic depressive phase. However, because it's very well aspected, it's like either she works with the humanitarian society or humane society or the senior citizen, helping people and saving people. So the tears, the sadness is there, but not for herself, but for compassion for other people.
So the
Exactly.
fact that she volunteers is a good thing.
Yeah, she wants to go to the humane society or something, right?
Yes.
Also the Pluto aspect, this is all the mysteries of life, and she worked at the crime report or something. So that aspect, but the saving profession, she's very nurturing. She's got all these Cancer planets, Venus and Jupiter and Mars, everything in Cancer. So the water and fire normally is a difficult combination, but she has the earth also, which gives a nurturing aspect as well.
So as long as there's something about her working,
She always has to be saving people. Otherwise, it'll come out in
or the
her own life
underdog,
and all that.
or
Yes.
the underdog.
She's
Talking
fantastic in that.
about Leos, we're going to talk about Obama.
Obama, yeah. No, I've got the genetic astrology thing there.
What is that?
There are 2 aspects in astrology.
What is genetic astrology?
But
What does
in
that
astrology,
mean?
for example, the different parts of the brain being used and how we can tell. Like, for example, in Obama's case, there's a Moon-Pluto aspect, which is an aspect of radical visionary, which is inherited from his Uncle Frank. Not that goathead from Kenya, so the Uncle Frank is really the father.
Okay, so what you're saying is that through astrology,
We're
you
able to see
can
that
see
exactly.
through your family what
The talents and
attributes.
limitations, what you've inherited from home. So his chart is so much like Uncle Frank. All the visionary, all the radical visionary aspects and all that. And then another thing that I've given on the genetic astrology, the combination from the mother for the child is inherited from the Broca's region to the visual cortex, which means the communication and the visual aspect of it. When these people talk, they draw visual analogies. Every artist will have some combination between Broca's and the visual cortex, and that's what I'm trying to show. Neurology doesn't have anything. They cannot see it. They can see the PET scan, but they cannot predict these things before, and everything boils down to limbic region, or it's much too simple.
So what you're saying through astrology, you can find all these little things.
Much more, that's right, and that's what we are going into very soon now.
And how does this connect with palmistry?
Well, you see, there are many things. For example, a person has Down syndrome, and they have a similar creed, and there's no exception. So here's a defect in the neural cortex area, which is actually reflected on the hand. There are at least 10, 11 as well in the pathological base of diseases, which connects the brain, the neurocortical area, specific parts to the hand. But the problem is that the science only looking at defects, whereas I'm looking at talents in music and art. Science still does not recognize art and music as a talent.
Now, do you check the horoscope daily? Well, we can take it a step further with Hassan Jaffer. We are here at Coffee Culture. What you have done, Hassan, is created an app. Okay,
Yes.
but this is no regular app. This app, okay, so let's talk about this app, for example. This app describes...
So the fashion on one side, and if you click on the other one, you can zoom in.
Okay, so let's do this one first.
Those are for when people are Moon and Leo, for example, there's certain accessories, what accessories to wear on a daily basis.
Okay, let's explain this. What's Moon and Leo? What does that mean?
Actually, it's just fine, you know, if they can, like on a daily basis, what they were born with, what colors on the left-hand side shows what color they should be always wearing. And then accessories on the right side, depending every 2.5 days it changes.
So, for example, our director, Chantel, she is a Leo. So these are her colors.
No, this one is not hers.
Oh, this is not hers.
This one is Moon in Leo. She has Moon in Scorpio.
She has Moon in
we do
Scorpio.
burgundy colors or, you know, some deep garnet and all that.
Okay,
That vibe.
but though she's a sun sign in Leo, her
Right.
moon is in Scorpio, so her best colors would be red.
Right, yeah. By the Venus position we go at, it's a bit complicated to explain. See, the app itself has the reports, it has the music, and it has the fashion. So it automatically changes on a daily basis, like that, you know.
Okay, so for example, if we were to use Chantel,
Right.
You would be able to tell
Her
through...
Venus position, I forgot.
Well, the thing is, through this app, you'll be able to tell
Yes,
someone
exactly.
what fashion accessories best suit you.
That's right.
And even on a daily basis.
That's right.
And why is it important to know what colors or what
Oh,
fashion?
many women have so much problem in that aspect. When they see this is a total godsend to them, they know exactly what accessories to wear. And when you wear those accessories, as you can see, for example, when you see these are for women, and when you see the men's,
Yeah.
and you can see the dramatic, the Fabergé, the expensive, the exclusive. And only that day, when Moon's in Virgo, everybody's feeling very shy, or they want cotton, pure cotton, and natural things, as opposed to that.
So whether it's an app or if you're interested in doing a personal profile, which thank you very much that you've done for people, you do an extensive research on everything about their personality, the planets that were.
They find everything in that report. That's right, the native report. You know.
Okay, and so if someone were to contact you, astrotrends.net is your website. You could help them not only with you could tell them what is best suited for them.
And what are the talents, what are the limitations, how to offset the different themes. Like my child, like a drug addict child, yet I've never taken a drop of alcohol in my life, but everything I do, it's obsession, whether it's music or art or my sports or anything.
Okay, so that was my question. So a lot of people are going to say, oh, so my fate is this, but what you're saying is everything is free choice.
Offset the theme is very important, that's right, yeah.
So everyone has a choice, no matter what is set out for you.
But the more you start going in one direction, then you start losing your features. That's also very important, yeah.
Got it. So it's all about taking that information and making it work for you. That's what it's about.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you can also see how you could understand someone also better through other astrological...
Absolutely. By the way, I just wanted to leave with one thought, that I'm very happy that Chuck Hagel has been selected. So there's a lot of hope for peace this year. And they won't go to war with Iran and all that. That's a very, very important point.
And talking about Iran, we want to say Happy New Year to all the Persians.
Well, absolutely. For the smiley people and all that, for the Nowruz, for all them, as I say, Nowruz Mubarak, for all the Persians and smiley people also. And
Happy New Year.
Equinox, it's a day and night equal today.
Yes, and what does that mean?
It's a very special day.
It's a very special day today?
Yeah, and it's like a major event. When there are special events happening in nature, like the Red Indians also believe, when there are any occasions, like that. When the day and night are equal, and it's like a pioneer and a poet, the spiritual energy and the beginning of a new cycle starting also.
Which is the equinox.